Hello everybody, it's Trevor from Flat Round and Spun. Here to do the summer vinyl tag. Well, since it is Labor Day weekend, I guess it's the end of summer vinyl tag. Yes, it's Saturday morning, coffee kind of morning. Here's to my Boston brothers, Anthony, Gambler 812, and Mike, MGK Boston. Cheers, fellas. Yeah, like I said, it's something that Dylan from Noble Records came up with. I don't know if he's done it before. I know he's not going to watch this because he said he doesn't watch vinyl videos, so anyway. I doubt he'll ever see this one too. So, but it seems like it's a fun thing to do. 20 questions or 20 prompts, if you will. Figured I'd do this end of summer vinyl tag. I know some kids are back in school already. My daughter Grace, she goes to school this coming Wednesday, so we're already trying to get her into out of the summer sleep mode, which this weekend is not helping because her and I are doing the whole Metallica weekend. Went last night. It was great. Videos, plural, coming soon. I'm not going to do one big one. I'm going to do 3 of them. So anyway, let's get to this vinyl tag. I got my laptop already here that you can't see, so I have the prompts listed here. So let's get going here. All right, an album or song with summer in the name. I don't own any Beach Boys. I don't own any of that California Sunshine BS. If you like that, that's cool. But I don't have any of that. So we're going to go with the awesome cover of Seals and Crofts' Summer Breeze by Typo Negative on Bloody Kisses. I believe this was the 3rd single off this album. And it's a great cover. They make it their own, but they don't stray too far from the original. So if you haven't heard it before, I would highly recommend it. It's very cool. So, Summer Breeze makes me feel fine. Anyway, latest heavy pull. That seemed like it was a very vague type of prompt, but I guess it was something that you wanted, that you had to, put a little extra in. And I shown this a couple videos ago from my Purchase Street Records haul. But something I did want, and it was a bit more expensive, but that is Demanufacture from Fear Factory, 1995. Great metal industrial album, just chock full of danceable hits. It'll make you hit the dance floor boogieing your tush off. Fear Factory. Let's see. Whack-A-Mole. Made famous by Norman Maslow, Mazzy. So, I guess I'll try to do this right now, which is why I'm down here. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, very cool. Speaking of Dylan, but not Dylan from Noble Records, but Dylan the Record Spinner. This was cool. I got this at one of the expos from the band Kiss, and that is the originals. What it is, after the popularity of Kiss Alive, Casablanca decided to package the first 3 records from Kiss, kind of like a Insta collection. I mean, the inner sleeves are the covers, so it's just paper versions of the covers of the album, but classic stuff. stuff that they still played till the very end. An album with an animal on it. Funny enough, saw this band last night. Opening direct support for Metallica, and that is Pantera. This is the Great Southern Trendkill. Can you tell I got little sleep from last night to this morning? As you can see, this is a snake. What else can be said about it? Great record though. 1996. I did see them on this tour as part of the 97 Ozfest. So cool stuff. Actually a 90s pressing too. Let's see. An album with a great story. I don't know if this was meant as a great story that was with the album or a great story that you have with the album. I will go with a great story that I'm connected with. And that's AC/DC Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. As some might not know, a lot of the Bon Scott era catalog was not made available to North America or internationally until after the popularity of Back in Black. So this actually did not come out till 81 in the States, domestically at least. So I heard that song in 81 and I loved the song. So I got the cassette of it. I'm with my dad because I was like 10 at the time, so obviously I can't drive to the record store. Actually got it at a Harmony House where I used to work. So we're playing it in our 1981 Chevette. Remember those? And everything's going swimmingly until the song Big Balls comes on, and I'm like kind of just facing the window so my dad doesn't look over and hopefully he's not noticing the hilarity of this song. And it went by and nothing happened. Even funnier though was it was me, my mom, my aunt, and cousins. We went to a beach and we had our boom box and I put this album on and Big Balls came on, and my mom and aunt thought that was the most hilarious song on the planet, and they actually turned it up. How cool is mom, right? So AC/DC Dirty Deeds. An album you would be surprised to see in your collection. Well, everyone knows I'm like the token metal, hardcore, industrial dude. I got this from a coworker that his mom got rid of a bunch of records, so I was going through them and picked out some. But yeah, I got Frank Sinatra's Strangers in the Night, yes. And I actually like it. I mean, I had it in with all my other stuff for quite a while, and it was Anthony that kind of pushed me into checking out some more. So I put it on, cleaned it up really nice, and sounds great. I believe this is a 77 pressing, so it's not an OG. But yeah, really good record. I like to play it on the weekends, especially in the morning with my coffee. So, Frank Sinatra. Cheap Heat. I'm sure those who do a lot of crate digging have seen this album a million times. And it's very special to me because I was at one of the shows of the series of recordings of this. But that's the J Gals band, Showtime. It's their last live album out of all three, recorded at Pine Knob Music Theater in Clarkston, Michigan, where I grew up. My first rock concert, which I said ad nauseum. I just wish that there was a deluxe version of this that where the whole concert is, because this is just a single disc, and I remember there were lots of songs that they played that are not on this. So it'd be really cool if they made a deluxe version of like a whole show. I mean, they did, I think, 5 or 6 shows that week, because Jay Giles was very, very popular in the Detroit area. And they could compile like the best versions of all those shows. But I just don't think there's a demand for Jay Giles band at this day and age, but it still would be cool to have a full version of it. So Jay Giles band, Showtime, Cheap Heat. Let's see, a 45 or alternate format. Well, I'm going to go with the 7-inch because I have also lots of 12-inch singles that play at 45. But this was actually in, I want to say a Kerrang or Metal Hammer. Probably Metal Hammer. But yeah, it's a 7-inch from Metallica, who we saw last night and are seeing tomorrow night. This is from their 30th anniversary at the Fillmore in San Francisco. Lots of footage of this on YouTube. Cool shit. Just lots of single camera stuff. But this has So What with Animal from the Anti-Nowhere League on vocals doing that, and Through the Never on here, both live. And I think it's just on straight black. So Metallica. Let's see, favorite music documentary or biopic. I'm gonna go with documentary because I honestly don't like biopics. I would rather see the actual people than someone playing them. And this is the soundtrack to a great documentary on the great Chicago electronic industrial label Wax Trax. This is an industrial accident. It's a great documentary of Jim Nash and, oh God, the name escapes me. Danny, it says right on here somewhere. Sorry, unprofessional of me. Jim and Danny from Wax Trax. They started out with a store in, I believe, in Denver, Colorado, and then they moved to Chicago, and they signed a punk rock band because they couldn't get a label, so they started it, and then other people. I think their second signing was Ministry, when Al was still kind of just like a synth pop guy, and it kind of just moved on from there. So great documentary. I think you could easily rent it. I don't know if it's on any of the free stuff yet, or if you subscribe, if it's on the with the subscription. But if you ever get a chance, check out Industrial Accident, the story of Wax Trax Records. Awesome stuff. Show a box set. This one's been shown a bunch of times because I have I think a grand total of 2 or 3 vinyl box sets. I got a lot of CD ones, but vinyl. This one's been shown many times because it's kind of new. But Anno Domini from Black Sabbath, the Tony Martin years minus Eternal Idol. Let's do an unboxing of it right now. No, we're not. I did that joke when I got this. Billions of videos of unboxing this, so check those out. Good stuff. Great pressings. Forbidden almost sounds like a brand new record compared to the old one. Let's see, most trashed record in your collection. When I was growing up, I would steal stuff from my late great uncle. He was only 9 years older than me, so he was kind of more like a big brother than an uncle. So I actually stole this as a kid, and it was trashed when I got it, and this was in the 70s. But this is my copy of Kiss Destroyer, which is destroyed. I mean, it is just frayed at the top, frayed on the side, ring wear. I mean, I haven't even sleeved this thing because I could probably try clean. I mean, look at that, the split here. It does have the original label on there, and I think even cleaning this, it would not even save this thing. But even if I got a new copy, I would still keep this just because, you know, it's just part of my history. We all know it. We all love it. Well, those who like Kiss know it and love it. Rob from Northern Revolutions, he would definitely disagree, but yeah, this is my most trashed record. Let's see. A local album. I'm gonna do two, since I've kind of, I been here in the Seattle area for almost 15 years, so that's a good chunk. But I spent a majority of my life in the Detroit area, so we're gonna do that first. Locally, though internationally famous now, but this was when he was a local guy back in the mid 60s, and this is Bob Seger and The Last Herd. Heavy music, the complete cameo recordings from 66 to 67. Coming up in October, my dad is going to be visiting out here, and I believe one of the Sundays that he's going to be here, it's going to be during our Sunday Vinyl Confessions, and he's going to join me, and hopefully he'll be able to take some time and regale of the times where his band would open up for Bob Seger and The Last Herd, when he was just kind of I wouldn't even call him regional. He was still just a local guy. So it'd be kind of cool to hear some of those stories. So Bob Seger, check this out. If you dig Bob Seger, you might have heard Heavy Music on Live Bullet, but yeah, these are the studio recordings. Great stuff. East Side Story, badass song. And then secondly, from here in Seattle, one of my favorites is Year of the Cobra. This is Burn Your Dead. This is an EP they put out probably about 7 years ago. Cool stuff. They get lumped in the doom stoner metal stuff, but they do have some high energy rock one, like the title track here. So it's a husband-wife duo. Amy is on distorted bass and vocals, and John is on drums, and definitely check these guys out. Awesome band. Let's see, an album from a faraway land. Well, the recording itself is not really far away. It was, I think some of it was recorded in England and some of it was recorded in Chicago, I believe. But it's an Italian pressing, so I'm just going to go with that. So, and since I got this, Cleopatra has reissued it too, but that is the band project, really. Palehead Trait, it is kind of a compilation of a couple of their singles and EP that they put out. Palehead is basically Ministry with Ian MacKaye from Fugazi and Minor Threat fronting them. Cool stuff. Great album. I love this one so much. I was so happy to get this on vinyl without paying an arm and a leg for an OG of it, but good stuff. Palehead. A soundtrack. Well, this is my original copy I bought in 1981, about 2 weeks after I saw the movie in the theater that my uncle that I talked about earlier took me to see. It was a movie based off of a comic book, but in magazine form, that it was pretty adult and not made for children, even though I had been kind of looking and reading it for about 3 years prior. So I was well familiar with this stuff, and that is heavy metal. This is my OG copy. I saw someone on Facebook posting one of the newer ones, and I forgot because I hadn't played this in so long that this is a pressed in a stacker version. That being disc 1 is sides 1 and 4, and disc 2 is sides 2 and 3, and you put it on the tall spindle and it would drop, so you only had to flip it over once. But the newer versions discs are sides 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, which I wish it was like that on this, but still Classic soundtrack. This was my discovery of Black Sabbath. I had never heard of Black Sabbath. Mob Rules came on in the movie. It was the heaviest thing I had ever heard up until that point, and I was blown away. And then as soon as I got the album, that was the track I immediately went to, and I love it. That the song is Mob Rules, Ronnie James Dio on vocals, rest in peace. And that was my entry point to Black Sabbath. So cool, heavy metal, the soundtrack. Let's see, your highest recommendation. I know this guy or the band that he fronts is kind of like love him or hate him. I happen to love him. It's a live album that was, I want to say it was for PBS, if not mistaken, but that is Ben Folds 5, the complete sessions at West 54th. This is around the release of Whatever and Ever Amen in 97. Great live album in a studio, small audience, and they do stuff off of their first 2 records on here. So, and some cool, they call it like parquet dance floor. I don't know what all that means with parquet, because I know what parquet is because I used to lay that floor out. But yeah, it's a great record. So if you can find this, pick it up. It's really good. Let's see, highest on your want list. Let's see. Highest on my want list is, and I will put a picture of it in the corner here, but that is, I don't have much on my want list. In fact, I only have 2 on my want list in Discogs, and one of them is a bootleg, so Discogs can't sell it. The other one is an album called Murder Inc., which is basically Chris Conley from Revolting Cocks, Ministry, fronting Killing Joke. As the story goes, Killing Joke were going to make a record. This is when Martin Atkins from Public Image Limited, Ministry, Pigface, blah, 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 was drumming for Killing Joke. And Jazz Coleman, the vocalist, went missing. Gone. No one could find him, which from what I've gathered, happened often. So they recruited Chris Conley to do the vocals on it, and instead of calling it Killing Joke, because it's impossible to call it Killing Joke without Jazz Coleman, they just called it Murder Inc., and it's some really cool stuff. Martin is reissuing it, but it's become a double disc, and you get all these tchotchkes with it, and it's like $125. I'm like, I'd rather pay $50 for an OG one, because I don't need all that other stuff. I just wish it was just the album. But yeah, Murder Inc. from 1992, I think. 91, 92, somewhere in there. So, let's see, a channel shout out. So the channel I would like to give a shout out to is for Clarence Ray Jr. He's fairly new to the VC. When I first discovered him, he had like 86 subscribers. Yeah, I could talk today. And he's already at 230, and that was like from 3 weeks ago. So he's going to do very well in the vinyl community. But yeah, he was talking about getting a lot of his records from his late father's collection. And, you know, he takes these records and he puts a story behind it. And he is a great, great storyteller, like I said. And I really enjoy his videos a whole lot. He's also from Detroit, probably more Detroit than me, because I'm from the northern suburbs, so I'm, you know, not that tough. So anyway, give Clarence a sub. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. Tell him I sent you, and you'll enjoy his content. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Number 18. Silver lining in the vinyl community. Well, it says silver lining in vinyl. I'm going with silver lining in the vinyl community itself. Um, you know, when I started this channel, I was thinking that I'd, get some comments here and there, and just have some kind of back and forth people in text form. And then when I saw other channels doing live streams and conversing through the comments and then getting on live streams themselves, I made friends. And there's a group of us that are pretty tight, even though we're scattered across the country. I have some people in my life now that I consider best friends of mine. I mean, I remember hearing, like guys like JC and Aaron Muth-Alamere, speaking of people like, yeah, these guys are my best friends. And I'm like, how can you have best friends that you don't even see face to face? And, I discovered that it does happen. And there are a group of people that I feel are best friends of mine. And luckily got to, meet them not too long ago. So just the vinyl community, stressing on community, getting to make friends, and that's awesome. And yeah, I've always said since that Boston trip, if anyone in the VC can meet up with other VC members, I highly recommend it. Just do it. It's an amazing time, and you will not regret it. Okay, let's move on. Steal of a deal. In 2001, me and my old roommate, we went on kind of like a, not East Coast, but more of a New England, New York area trip to buy records. Some half CDs, half records. And this was before the vinyl boom. Not to sound like a hipster, even though I'm wearing a knit hat right now and I look like a hipster and I should be drinking an IPA right now, even though I hate IPAs. But one of the records I picked up at the time, and I thought was expensive for it being a used record, almost 25 years ago. But I picked it up anyway, and on Discogs it has gotten astronomically way up there. And that is a 1995 pressing of Kiss Creatures of the Night, Glow in the Dark. I paid somewhere between $25 and $30 for this at the time. Go look this up now on Discogs and you'll see how much this is going for now. Not that I plan on selling it, and as Rob from Northern Revolutions pointed out with Discogs, it's only worth what people are willing to pay for. But I'm not getting rid of anything like that, so that's a steal of a deal right there. Creatures of the Night, Kiss. And show a promo. As I mentioned numbers of times, working at Harmony House, I got promos, a lot of CD. I mean, like a major chunk of my CD collection was at that time working at the record store, because I would just get tons and tons of promo CDs. But every once in a while, I would get vinyl too. And one I pulled out, I really wish I could find the other two, but I got record 3 of 3 of Nine Inch Nails' The Perfect Drug. And it's got 2 remixes by The Orb and Space Time Continuum. I barely listened to this, but I would like to get 1 and 2 just to complete the series. So on Nothing Records, obviously. And the Perfect Drug was on the soundtrack to Lost Highway, that David Lynch movie that, after watching it, I thought was aptly titled, because first time watching it, it made no sense at all. So anyway, there's the promo. And just under 30 minutes. So thank you for indulging me on this, and hopefully you got something out of it. I got some time out of it. Anyway, Vinyl community, take care of yourself, and we will talk to you later. See ya!